Hey family, what's up? This is Miss QT Style. As my intro just said, I got to remember I don't have to say that anymore because of my intro. Um, as you can tell from the title, I'm coming to you guys with some real talk about a situation that happened like about, I would say back in 2009. And it's just, it trips me out on things some fellas say. To some of you, it may not be a big deal, but for somebody like me, it is because I'm really close to my daughter. She is my only child. Um, some people may say she's spoiled a little bit. I don't think so. She's my only child, so she's my only child. But anyway, it was back when she graduated back in 2009, I believe she graduated. Um, I was seeing this guy, nothing serious. We was basically talking on the phone, went out a few times. And I wouldn't let it get serious because I know that I was going to move to Atlanta once my daughter graduates because she wanted to go to Clark Atlanta University. Okay. So, long story short, I had been wanting to move back toward down south or toward the south, but I was waiting until she graduated, and finish high school and stuff so I can move. Okay, I didn't want to like have her move in 11th grade and stuff. It didn't make no sense. So I wanted her to finish, and I said, okay, here's my opportunity to move to the south. So as she's graduating and all, I ended up resigning from my job. I gave them their 3 weeks notice. They gave me a big party when I was leaving and stuff, and I hated to go because I loved my job. I cried and cried and cried, but I had to go. Well, because I wanted to go. I gave up my apartment. I had about 4 or 5 garage sales. Got rid of some things, and long story short, we ended up moving to Atlanta a little while, but things didn't work out at Clark Atlanta, which thank the Lord it didn't. Thank the Lord she went somewhere else. But long story short, the guy that I was dating, he was like, so you're moving to Atlanta? Why are you moving? Because your daughter going to college? Kids supposed to go away to college and have their own life and stuff. And he was like, you need to really just cut the apron string. I'm like, cut the apron string? How about I cut your ass? That's what I wanted to say. How about I cut your ass? And that's exactly what I did. I cut him, literally, I cut him off. Not literally cut him or stab him. I cut him off. I didn't, really want to talk to him no more after that because I felt like he was kind of out of line, for telling me that to cut the apron string. I had cut the apron string, okay? But I wanted to move and go back down south. Actually, my daughter was the thing that was holding me, the situation that was holding me up from moving to the south because she was in school, like I said, out here, and I didn't want to have, in high school, you don't want to just switch in the 10th, 11th grade and go to another high school. So I was trying to let her finish with her friends and stuff, okay? So, I got offended by it. And the reason why I got offended because, first of all, he didn't know me like that to have the audacity to tell me cut the apron string and stuff like that, And mind you, he had a son around my daughter. No, he was a little older than my daughter, and he was already in college. But mind you, he was going to college out here in Cali, okay? He can go to his child, who is maybe 30, 40 minutes away, and see his child at the drop of a dime. But keep in mind, my daughter would have been in Atlanta with nobody. She didn't know anybody out there. I knew people, but she didn't know anybody out there. And I would have been way in California. So, pretty much he was trying to say like, or he implied that was the only reason I was moving, which it honestly was not. I had been ready to move back home. I'm still ready to move back home, but sometimes life doesn't work out that way. So I'm here, So, but my point was a lot of men have issues with women who are close to their kids or do things for their kids. And see, that's why my ass gonna end up staying single for that reason, because guys out here, how can I put it? I'm not saying all. I'm talking about some guys out here in Cali. They're not to me, they're not family oriented. And I say that because there's a few that I know. I can't speak for everybody. And when I say not family oriented, I mean like, they get jealous if you're close to your family. They want it all to be about them. And again, before anybody say anything, I'm not saying all, because I don't know all people out here. But how can I say it? Maybe the majority or a lot that I know, they have issues with people being close to their family, or they're not, they have kids that they don't see because they dating some woman who don't want them to see it or don't want them to pay child support. And I'm not saying it don't happen other places. I'm going by not even guys I've dated. I have some guy friends that, you know, one particular guy, he didn't see his youngest son for the longest, and I'm like, why? Tell me, because my wife be tripping. I'm like, fuck your wife. And I had to catch myself. I'm like, fuck her, that's your child. You know, I was telling them, you know, you need to try to see your child, and she needs to try to understand it. I'm like, she got her kids living there with her, you know, so like that, I'm saying. And like I said, it's not all of them, but that right there, I'm basically saying that right there is a big turnoff for me when a guy going to try to tell me about my child. That's the worst thing he can do. He may as well have just walked his ass out that door and never looked back without even saying that, because that's one of the worst things he can do, to tell me to cut the apron string from my daughter. I ain't gonna never cut no apron string. Like I said, she can be, I'm 40 years old, she can be fucking 40 herself, and I'm 60 years old, and I'm still not going to cut the apron string, because she's my child, no matter what. And if she need me, I'm going to be there. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like I don't have a life outside of my daughter, or not trying to, you know, it's not like I cannot share myself with my daughter. It's a totally different level. But he made it seem like, I don't know, right there they just threw up a red flag like that. Like my daughter would be a competition or something, like let her cut the apron string, you know. And I know some of you may say, oh, maybe he didn't mean it like that, but yes, the fuck he did. And whether he meant it like that or not, that's how I took it. So cut the apron string. Okay, yeah, but his kid's in the same state with him, but he want me to cut the apron string and don't leave. Maybe that was his way of saying he didn't want me to leave. Well, if he didn't want me to leave, maybe he should have paid for my daughter to go to college out here, or something like that. But no, not for real, because I wouldn't even allowed him to do it. But the point was, I don't think he knew me like that to be telling me that I need to cut the apron string, okay? I can't help if me and my daughter is close. I can't help if that's my only child. That's my pride. That's my joy. He mad? But anyway, that'll be, look, my daughter laughing. Y'all don't see that here. She just come from the beach and stuff. But yeah, he told me cut the apron string. First of fucking all, I don't wear no apron.
She cut one, but she got me captive for the other one.
See, she lied on. She said I cut one string, but I got one, cause like last night it was like about 1:30. She wasn't home yet. She was by her friend's house, which happens to be one of my good friend's brothers. So, I mean, I know she was in a safe place, but I'm like, I woke up and I was like, she not home? And I doubt her. I was like, when you plan on coming home? She's like, I'm coming, which is right down the street and stuff. And he brought her home. But yeah, of course, that's my child. I don't care, you know. She's something. Look, y'all, look, I'm going off to another subject. Sometimes she be leaving, right? Now, I know me, and this should have been another video. Me, when I go out with like a guy and stuff, I would let my friend know, look, I'm going to be by, this is his name. This, I get his damn license plate number. I say what kind of car he drive, if I knew where he worked, if I knew a friend number or whatever, or his number, I'll leave it with my friend. So if case my ass don't come back home, at least they can know who I was last seen with. Sometimes when my daughter, go out and stuff, even if it's with friends that I know, but still I be wanting to know, like, what area are y'all going to be in? So if I see on the news, oh, they had a fire at Chimichang's or whatever, at least I'll know, oh God, my child was there, let me see. But if you're not telling me where you at, or if you're telling me you're there and you here, she said I'm acting too paranoid and I'm too overprotective.
She don't give me the chance to volunteer the information. She demands it from me automatically.
But I don't know, how many of y'all used to do that? Because me and my friends do it all the time. We used to do it back in the day.
Let me give my friend my information and not my mama.
And whatever. But anyway, me and my friend Tori, she would give me the information and shit, and we'll be texting it now. She'll tell me we're leaving the place right now. I don't know. Some people may say it's paranoid, but it ain't paranoid. It's safe. Because plenty of motherfuckers then came up missing like Miss Myrtle, because we do not know where she is. We need to find her. Somebody could have kidnapped her. But anyway, y'all, let me get off this video. 10 minutes, y'all. I just wanted to say that. Yeah, he told me to cut the apron string, but I cut his ass. That's what I did. Cut him, and let me rephrase it for those who might be coming in on I cut him. I didn't cut him with a knife. I cut him off, meaning it's a wrap. I ain't want to talk no more anyway. I was leaving anyway. But anyway, I ain't cutting no apron string. That's my one and only. And I don't care if I had 15 of them. I have all 15 of them hanging on one of them strings. Like she said, I cut one, but she hanging on the other one. So, okay, you guys, let me get my butt off of here. It's a wrap. Stay tuned for a video, a comedy. I guess it's comedy or a skit. You know, it may not be a comedy, but it'll be a skit. Anybody who watching, I have 2 contests going on. Hello, Kitty Nerdy contest going on, and I have Step Your Shoe Game up to Chop and Screw. Check them out. And it's a wrap.